All right, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I was wondering a moment ago, do you think that Annie from Annie Get Your Gun and Annie Are You Okay, the Michael Jackson song, are the same Annie?
Yes.
You think so?
I think he's like, Annie, are you Oakley?
That's what I'm thinking.
Are you Oakley, Annie?
I don't know. That's what I was. What's on my brain for a hot sec.
That's it though. It was only for that long.
Hi everyone. Welcome back to Dress for the Podcast You Want. My name is David.
And I'm Megan.
And this is a dang old podcast.
It sure is. That's what this is.
We're gonna start. I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling wild. My energy's all over the place.
Great.
But Megan's going to tell us a story, and it's going to get me centered right into where I need to be. All right, this story is for you, too. You're going to like this story.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Speaking of success. So, was it yesterday? Was it yesterday that it happened?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Set it up.
I've been doing, like replenishing my materials, like my actor website. And, I've been taking a few classes. So I've been doing some like voiceover type stuff and creating demos. So I've been doing submissions to like representation and stuff. And there was one big agency in New York that I was submitting to, specifically to their voiceover department. And, I formatted everything the way they wanted it in the email. I had the demos attached, was ready to send. And I thought, oh, you know what some actors do that I think is like really convenient and nice sometimes, where like just a part of their like Google email signature, it's like the blah, 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 blah pronouns are at the bottom. And then they sometimes have a thumbnail of their headshot. I'm like, I got new headshots recently. Maybe I'll do that. I'll just have a little thumbnail. And then did that. I did it the way I thought you were supposed to attach a fucking photo to your email signature, and I sent it on its way. Later in the day, I had to email something to David, and I had kept that photo setting in the email signature, and I see him open it up on his desktop, and the fucking photos were like the size of something that you would blow up on the side of a building. It was like if you looked out your apartment window and like a Thanksgiving Day float was like looking into your apartment. That's the size that my photos were.
They were huge. I opened the email and it was like, I actually couldn't even see the like body of the email because it was just a rectangle.
It was like the
top
side
of Megan's forehead.
It was like the side. I think you were scrolling and your eyes were really big, but you were staying very quiet. And I like see the side of my nostril, the size of your computer screen.
I wasn't sure if you'd done it on purpose. If you'd been like, here's a big picture of me. But I thought that was a good success story. I wanted to share that.
Yeah, I took that one. Tick that box.
And now it's recorded forever on a podcast.
Forever. Now everyone knows.
Yeah.
So if you see that, look for my giant ass face, I guess.
Or if you got an email from Megan with her giant ass face.
Yeah, I guess so.
It wasn't intentional. So that's the beginning section. This is this new section of the podcast called Megan Success Stories.
Yep.
We'll expect one every week.
Yep.
But now it's time to introduce our guest. This is the part of the podcast called Introducing Our Guest. And today's the podcast where I introduce all the sections, where they have sections.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our guest today is Ari Frenkel.
Hello. I'm here. I'm still here.
Oh, I can't hear. Oh, now I can. I muted you. I couldn't hear you, but now I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Remember that fun thing?
Fuck that commercial. Fuck that guy. Wait, but can we talk about that guy? Because that guy was the Verizon guy, right? For how long saying, can you hear me now? And then when his contract was up, was the Sprint guy.
Right? Right?
I mean, he stabbed them back. I mean, there's no loyalty in phone commercial. I mean, that's so crazy. He has made probably millions, if not at least hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me you wouldn't,
annoying.
Though. Tell me you wouldn't do that.
Oh, of course I would. I mean, I'll fucking do the Cars for Kids commercial. I don't care, man.
And then turn around and do the Kids for Cars commercial.
Right. That it got dark real fast here.
No. It's very normal. Hi, Ari. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for being here.
We're all so busy here during pandemic time,
So
many meetings, so many parties, and just came from a bar mitzvah,
I'm getting a phone call from Buffalo, New York. Should I answer it?
Okay.
Hello?
Oh, come on.
They knew they were on the podcast. Yeah. Oh, well. But you're not busy.
I make myself busy. I don't really do well sitting idly.
You're kind of a self-generating machine.
I try to keep active. I mean, when I'm on a vacation, I'm on a vacation. And I have not been on a vacation in quite some time. I was supposed to go to fucking Europe this year with my girlfriend. We were supposed to go to fucking Spain and France and a lot. I mean, it's so interesting, like just talking about like the self-generating machine type of people, because I'm one of a breed, I think. Like,
yeah,
you know, the pandemic really, I think, revealed a lot in people. And I think just so many years of having to create my own structure, which I'm like so anal meticulous about, really benefited me when shit hit the fan. Then I was like, all right, I'm good. I'll keep doing what I do.
Right.
So I just watched, you know, all the systems fall apart, and obviously they've, you know, acclimated now to some degree. But I did find it like I was able to just maintain some kind of like output. And it was good for a while. I was kind of like enjoying, I felt like I had an edge on everybody. And then like things got darker and there was, you know, rioting in cities and, you know, everything has just seemed to like escalate further and further.
Yeah.
So then it was kind of hard to create for a little bit. I definitely did stop for a minute. But yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not one to just sit around. I don't know what would happen if I did.
Our friend of the podcast, Michael Satow, called that kind of people a doer. You just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess I've always been like this, you know. Like I always think about, like, you know, how people are always like giving people. This is very broad. You know, the general advice is always like, you got to make it happen yourself, and it's like that's really great. But some people just aren't going to do that, and it's not a moral judgment. That's not who they are, and
right,
and maybe they don't have like. I just, for whatever reason, had this false sense of confidence at an early age that I, you know that great Ira Glass, the Gap. Whoever's listening who doesn't know, or if you don't know about it, it's a great. You should Google it after, because he's much more articulate. But he basically is like, you know, you get into whatever art you're in. He's referring to writing, but any kind of art, because you have such great taste. You have killer taste at a young age.
Yes, I have seen this. Yeah,
oh, it's so good. And what the stuff you produce at first, the stuff you make, or whatever art you do, it's okay at first. Like it's not bad, but it's not great, and you know it in your heart. And the only way to close the gap between your taste and the quality of your work being what you want is to make an enormous volume of work. And it takes an enormous amount of time to do that. So, like, for whatever reason, I you know, I've had this same vision of what I want since I was a kid, and not that I've not questioned it, but I haven't wavered in it. I really do know what I want, and I'm after it. But I really kind of think, like, you know, when people are like, I wish I was more successful or whatever, it's like, well, maybe I just didn't hit the way I'm going to, because I didn't do the work, you know, like it didn't match up yet. And I can say with my own work, like, I certainly am proud of a lot of the stuff I make, but there's, you know, I still am always like, nah, it can keep getting better. I can keep improving, and I keep improving certain qualities of things. And, you know, when it comes to acting, like, especially like the older you get, the more experiences you have, like that changes so much in you. You keep changing as a person. Right. And like, sorry, I'm going on a tangent.
I'm glad you explained about the Gap, because I definitely knew what that was and had heard of it, but I was pretty sure maybe some other people hadn't.
It's like that particular blurb is like a meme that floats around and stuff.
Oh,
it's great.
Google,
the meme
Google
that I've
Ira
seen, I've seen the one on Twitter that's like, your first book is gonna suck, your first podcast is gonna suck. Your first movie is gonna suck. The only thing you can do to separate yourself from that is make more. And maybe that's the theme of the Gap, but I feel like that's the mean way to say it.
Well, but not even necessarily. Yeah, it's true. Will suck, or it won't be like this. You know, you're not going to hit a home run out the gate. But I think it's also like it's not in spite of it that you're going to do better. It's because of it that you're going to do better, right? Like, I made a movie, a feature, when I had no fucking idea what I was doing. I was like 21, 22 years old.
I thought you were going to say 12.
No, I was not 12. I was 22. I probably looked 12, but I was 22, and I made something and I finished it. And I think the fact that I finished such a huge undertaking gave me the confidence to do all the things after the fact. And I knew then that it wasn't great. Like, I'm proud of it now. I wasn't for a long time, but now I can look back at it and like admire the work, right? And I think when you see someone's like early work, you can definitely, you're forgiving, I guess, a little bit more. But I think there's something about like, I think young people, especially, like, they need to just make the thing that's not that great, because then they'll keep making, you know, even just a little taste of like, that's not great, but that one fucking scene was awesome for that 15-year-old kid who made a short film or whatever, right?
Or that one line, or that one lighting, or that one thing.
Right.
I think I know that. I know what you're talking about. Am I allowed to say the title of it? Do you want me to?
Oh, yeah.
It was that Pluto?
Yeah. And that's on, I just last year or during the pandemic, I got it on Amazon Prime, and like, you know, it's a real movie. It's just not a good one, and it's fine. Like I hope, you know, I reach the successes that I want, and people look back at that and they can say like, wow, look how far this person has come, you know? And I think things are so different now too, because making a movie was so fucking difficult then.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like, I mean, these kids on TikTok, it's unbelievable. People are so fucking creative. I mean, look at just like these Bernie memes, right, from yesterday. Like,
oh my God.
Wild. Not to date this episode, but in case you missed it, there have been a lot of Bernie memes.
It's unbelievable, but people are so clever. And the things that I see, what's so interesting is like, it's not just like artists, whatever that means. It's not just like people who want to be professional filmmakers or actors or directors, whatever, right? They're just people making little sketches. And I don't think a lot of people are like, this is going to be my career out of it.
Yeah.
I think they genuinely just are learning a new form of narrative, and the younger people really have an advantage of it. And at its core, what it is editing. And like, if there's one thing I think like every actor or actually anybody who works in any kind of like film or television job should learn how to do is edit. Not necessarily to even if they edit their own stuff. I just think like when you edit, you realize that like that is the person who is in complete control of everything. And like, they can make a great actor bad, or a bad actor better, or good writing better, or bad writing better. You know what I mean? Like, it's truly amazing what they can do. And I'm just in awe of how talented these kids are. And they don't even realize, you know, I don't think these people are walking around being like, we're great editors, you know, but they're tremendous. They really are. Like they really, like, the comedic sensibility that is growing in the culture from these things is amazing. I don't think that existed 30 years ago.
No.
Well, and if it did, it definitely wasn't. You couldn't disseminate it.
I mean, it didn't.
If you had that kind of talent and had that kind of passion, it was often more self-contained.
It certainly wasn't something that was readily available that people could explore like that at such a widespread way, like 15 years ago, like when we were graduating from college or whatever.
When I got my first like digital camera my junior year of high school.
Yeah.
I was doing TikTok in my room, and one of those would have been,
and I was my subscriber.
But I couldn't, I had no way to show it to anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, but listen up, everybody.
Okay.
We've never gotten so far into the podcast without me asking the first question, so I gotta fucking ask the
sorry.
first. No, you should
all.
be. How dare you be
sorry.
a good guest who can come in and talk about anything? All right, I want to ask you a very important question.
Yes.
Do you consider yourself a successful person?
It's a very tough question. It depends on the day. I mean, it's fascinating because I really think like this pandemic, these times have really shifted what is important as well, and like how you can do things clearly, right? You don't necessarily need to be in the place where everyone said you needed to be to do a lot of things now. I think I have had a lot of successes. I'm not the kind of person who like sits in them, you know what I mean? I certainly don't think anything I've done makes me special or anything. It just inspires me to keep working towards what I want. And I know that when I do reach those successes that I have not yet reached that I want to, that I probably won't feel any differently. I mean, you know what? So I had a video go viral this year. I've had a few now, but like I had one that had like...
Is it the autocorrect one?
Yeah. So I had a couple...
so fucking funny.
Thank you. I had a couple million views, and you know what? My life is completely the same. Nothing changed, right? Like I got a couple followers from it, but like nothing changed. And for years I've been making 10, 15 years I've been making internet videos, and nothing ever came close to that many views.
Yeah.
And now I know, and now it's like, okay. Now I'm like, okay, well, now it's like an expectation, right? And so there's something really important along the way of like taking the time to acknowledge whatever those successes are and just not sitting in them. So I know you asked a yes or no question, and I don't really have a yes or no answer for you, but I think it depends on the day. And, you know, some days I don't feel successful and other days I do, right? Like I was on a television show that Tony Danza was on, and Tony Danza was giving me advice. It was the first day I met this man, but he was telling me, he was like, you know, I remember I had a sitcom and I was on, I was at a party, and there were all these people who were richer and more successful than me. And here I was, you know, thinking I had hit it. And these people made me feel like I was unsuccessful. And it was just like, you know, he was just trying to prove a point. It's like, you don't compare, because there is always somebody better, cooler, hotter, whatever, however your perspective is on it. So ultimately it's like, you do have to find joy in whatever success you do have, because you're gonna have something. There's not gonna be nothing, right?
Megan, do not listen to Tony Danza. There is no one better, cooler, or hotter than you.
Certainly no one with bigger pictures.
You have the biggest pictures.
Hosted on dimlywit.com.